Hello everybody and welcome to another board game discussion video. Today's topic is all about the 2020 Golden Geek Awards, which were recently... Hello everybody and welcome to another board game discussion video. Today's topic is all about the 2020 Golden Geek Awards, which were just recently announced. This is another People's Choice voting thing that I've talked about in the past, or similar to what I've talked about in the past with the People's Choice solo board games, as well as People's Most Anticipated Games of 2021. In this case, though, the Golden Geek Award is something that is really a big deal for designers and publishers and all of this kind of stuff, because you will see it on boxes. You'll see the little stamp that says we got a Golden Geek Award for this game. It is a big deal, but it is still chosen by the users on Board Game Geek. Now the fact is they do have a lot of really good solid categories. You've got your best card game, you've got two-player game, solo game, they even have print and play, apps, they've got the light, medium, and heavy overall game of the year, all sorts of different stuff, co-op game, lots and lots of different categories to look at. And the nice thing is that, in my opinion, a lot of really great games got some good recognition that they truly deserved. For example, card game number one is Dune Imperium. Yes! I was super excited to see Dune Imperium not only on the nominations list, but also to see it as the winner, because it just seems like such a great game and I am such a huge fan of Dune. And in addition, one of the other ones that I was super excited to see was Imperial Struggle winning the wargaming category. Now, wargaming as a whole is something I've talked about a lot, in that I don't particularly understand it, but this means that Imperial Struggle is officially a war game, because the Golden Geek Awards say so. And it's based off of the same mechanics as Twilight Struggle and Labyrinth and those sort of things from GMT Games. So you have all of your different, your influence and all of that kind of stuff that you're dealing with. And it's just, it seemed like a good game. I've talked about both of those on previous lists of things I'm excited about and all of that kind of stuff. So very, very exciting to see that. That said, we also saw a lot of very much a popularity contest. I mean, that's what this is. Previously, with the upcoming 2021 games, Frosthaven blew everything out of the water in terms of the most excited, anticipated upcoming game, which... okay, it makes sense because Gloomhaven was huge, Frosthaven is even bigger. And at the same time, we also saw Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion win not only Best Cooperative Game, but I think it also won the Heavy Game of the Year as well. A lot of games did get some good recognition though. For example, On Mars got Best Artistic representation. It did get some runner-up in other categories, I believe as a Game of the Year for Heavy, if I'm not mistaken. But we also saw some really great things in expansions, with Wingspan winning the category with, I think it was Oceania, if I'm not mistaken, and Root winning the app category as having the best board gaming app. There was even a print and play category that Seven Wonders Dual Solo won. I have no idea how that even works, but apparently it's a thing. Either way, I wanted to talk a little bit about this because this is something that really does make a difference to publishers, players, and all of that kind of thing. The Golden Geek Award is something that you put on a stamp, as a stamp on your game. We can take a look here with Seven Wonders. I've got a little bit of an older one, and you can see it's got a whole bunch of awards on the bottom. Now, the newer editions have even more awards all over the place on Seven Wonders. But the thing is that these are a big deal, and these are things that people will look at when they go into a game store and they see, oh wow, this thing won whatever, 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 whatever. You know, Spiel des Jahres obviously is always going to be the biggest thing. For example, Dominion, having won it about 12 years ago at this point, or 13 years ago, back in 2009. And it is a big deal, and it does vastly increase sales. And the thing is that the Golden Geek Awards really do that, and they are unique in that it is strictly done through a public vote. Now that said, it's done on a ranking system. Statistically speaking, the idea is that you do, you know, what's your top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there's a specialized algorithm that takes all of that and essentially spits out what the top 1, 2, 3, etc. are. It's actually some pretty interesting math if you ever want to look it up. But the thing is, it's interesting to see this in that something like that really can tremendously affect sales. And part of the problem is that games that are normally on lists like this and get something like the Golden Geek Award were already popular. They were already something that people knew. They were already something that people were super excited about. And so of course, there's going to be more about it. For example, one of the runners-up in a category, I think it was the either cooperative or the expansion, was something for Lords of Waterdeep. I hadn't even heard of it, but I was like, there's more Lords of Waterdeep? That's awesome! Why didn't I know about this? And so it's great to get some more information about this, but very few people are going to go and dig in and look at nominees and things like that. Although you will sometimes see games that have, you know, nominated for whatever, whatever, or runner-up for whatever, whatever. It's still just kind of a frustrating thing for me personally, because I don't like having so much of the public opinion sway this type of thing, because it simply becomes a popularity contest and nothing more than that. And yes, there are reasons that these games are popular. They are good games. I am not denying that. I never would. But at the same time, it would be nice to see other games get more recognition. For example, Oceans was one of the runners-up for a category, and it is an incredible game. It is absolutely wonderful, and I love it. It had a great Kickstarter, it had a good launch, and it's just a wonderful game. On top of the fact that it's a sort of follow-on to Evolution, which is one of my favorite scientific-based games, Oceans does something very similar. I love the fact that these types of games can teach, but I also wish that they were more popular so that they could get more of this type of recognition. I guess my end point to try and wrap things up is that Golden Geek Awards are great. You know, it's wonderful that we have all of these different awards, whether it's the, you know, Spiel des Jahres or the Golden Geek or the Dice Tower picks or whatever they happen to be that can help drive game sales. But at the same time, I would love it if we had more things like Spiel des Jahres, where it is more about industry professionals and panels and people like that who are making the decisions, rather than simply being, is this game super popular? How many times have you seen a Spiel des Jahres game come out that you had never really heard of? That's the great thing about it. It's because they look really in depth at all of the games that have come out. Whereas most of the nominations for things like the Golden Geek Awards and stuff like that will simply end up being things that are popular and that people have heard of. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but it biases everything towards games that are popular and nothing else. So that is obviously far more than enough rambling for me, but of course I do want to hear what you guys have to say. I've put a link in the comments to the actual list of the winners for the 2020 Golden Geek Awards, so you can take a look at yourself, both at all of the categories as well as the runners-up, and they also include some information about how the actual rankings were done in the statistics if you're curious about that particular aspect. But that said, as always, if you haven't done so already, please take a look at my various social media pages where you can interact with myself and my channel in a bunch of really fun ways. Remember, we're beating COVID. Here in the US, we have given millions and millions of fully vaccinated people, and it's great to see that. We are getting immunity gradually. Obviously, it's not over, so stay safe, stay healthy, be well. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you next time.